Hello, welcome to my channel. The main rule for the quilting is that there are no rules. You will learn, you will watch others, and you will find the methods and ways of quilting that works for you. And that's the most important thing, because you need to find what works for you to be able to enjoy the process. What you will see is my process of working with different materials and different designs, and I hope some of those tips and tricks will help you in your own journey. Hi everyone, it's Paula from Paula Quilting. In the last trips to thrift store or second-hand store, I've managed to get some flannel shirts, and I cut all of those shirts into 1.5 strips and 2.5 strips. I really like flannels because, you know, they're nice, soft, and nice to touch, especially if they've been washed so many times as an item somebody was wearing. But they might be a little bit tricky to sew with, because obviously they are quite flimsy, they might a little bit distort and things like that. So I thought that instead of kind of working on it on individual basis, what I will do, some sort of quilt-as-you-go design. Now, I've never done quilt-as-you-go either, so that will be new. But instead of working on smaller pieces and then obviously put them together, I will have my fleece batting cut to like, you know, a lap quilt size, and start stitching straight on that. I won't have a backing because I still want to quilt on top of it later when I finish putting the strips on, but I will kind of have that, you know, one layer out of equation, so that should be much easier for me to do. So for starters, I will need to go through all of the strips and make sure that all my obviously edges here are nice and straight, because what I will do is I will sew, you know, like with the jelly roll race, I will sew all the pieces together first, and then I will start stitching on top of the fleece. So let me do that first. Let me tidy up all of those edges, and then I will also know how many different designs I've got, because obviously I want to mix them as I sew them together, and then I will show you what I do next. Okay, I finished tidying up the edges, and I will now start to sewing the strips together. I will make sure that my stitch length is probably about 1.5 or even 1. I will see, maybe for the smaller ones at least 1. I will just kind of put them in the order how I want to kind of grab one and start stitching. That can go together. Got quite nice colors here, so I'll just take kind of one color darker and one something brighter mixed up in between. That can go together. I don't have many blues, so I'll leave it as is. Green and this one at the end. I think that will make a nice color combination, and I will do the same with the 2.5 inches as well. So that will take me a while to stitch. I won't be filming that part, but I will show you what the roll looks like when it's done. Okay, so I finished preparing for the quilt. So this is the roll of 2.5 inch strips. Here's the 1.5, and this is the beginning of it. I do not have a design what will go where. I will just go randomly, and I've made a kind of some sort of middle, so I will start from here. I cut my fleece, and now I just need to place that first piece on it somewhere. Now the good thing with working with the fleece is it should kind of having that flannel stick into it fairly nicely, so hopefully there will be no ironing involved in the, you know, as I'm going through the process. So I'll just randomly place my middle, and I will just stitch around it like 1/8, literally just at the edges, to make sure it stays you know, nicely when I start putting the strips on. And hopefully I can just carry on with the strips until I run out of the space, but we'll see how it goes. Now, working with flannel, just for notes, you may find that when you're using the, you know, used flannel, the front of the shirt might not look necessarily nice, but the flannel is double-sided. So when I was stitching, I was just paying attention which side of the flannel looks better, and I was using that for the right side of the strip. Okay, let me crack on. Okay, so after working on it for probably about 2-3 hours, this is where I am at the moment. So quite nice big piece has been done, and so far it's looking nice. This corner here is not in the middle of that batting piece. I've put it towards one of the sides. So basically what does that do for me is that when I now get to the edge of it, I will have a little bit less to kind of work with at any given time, because once I'm here at the edge here, I can decide to finish off one side only and then finish the other side. So once I finish, I will back it up and I will show you what I will do with it next. But it's going to be nice warm quilt, so I think it will be one of those quilts I will take for our camping trip next month. Here I go, my quilt straight from the sewing machine. Haven't even kind of removed any threads from it yet. I'm very happy how it came out, and you know, it's quite quick process of sewing this way, because you know, I haven't ironed anything in between, so you kind of, it would have been a lot of work if you stitch something and then you have to go to the iron board to iron it and then carry on. Because you're doing it straight, and the batting is obviously like your design wall, it's sticking on quite nicely, so if you smooth it out, it will stay smooth for you to sew on. Just wanted to show you something. When I the flannel is quite more, it's more flimsy fabric than any other normal cotton, and I think what happened, I must have stretched some of the strips when I was sewing. Some of those strips has been caught on the bias, and that's probably when it happened. So let me just take a close-up for one of the things, what happened and how I fixed it. So you can see here the batting started kind of, when I was sewing, was starting to ruffle in one spot. So basically, I was trying to smooth it out, but it kind of didn't work. It was going more and more, and you can see I've got some packers here, which is still going to be covered by the back of the quilt, so I'm not so worried. But what I did when it was ruffling like this, I just pinched that excess. So I've made flat here, I took that excess of the batting, and I literally just cut it out, that bit, and then I bat it together like I did, like you would normally link two pieces of the batting together with the zigzag stitch. I've got that method recorded as well, I'll put it in the description below. And that means that from that point onwards, that batting was again flat. And it happened a few times on this side mainly. The other side was fine, but on this side of the quilt, I don't know, I must have stretched more than other ones. It happened in few places, so that's what I did, how I fixed it. And when I quilted, and when it's, you know, on the right hand side you cannot see anything, and once I quilted, I put the back fabric, nobody will see what happened inside, so you can still fix it. So if it happens, you know, don't panic, just fix the batting. If you like this video, please leave your thumbs up. If you like to find out how I finished this quilt with the quilting and the binding, you can follow me on the Instagram or join my group on the Facebook. There's also my own page on the Facebook you can follow or like if you like to. I also have got the Pinterest board with all the tutorials, and I will leave all the links below. Please subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and if you hit the bell you will be notified about any new tutorials coming out. Share with your quilty friends, feel free to share on any groups you may belong to. Thank you for watching.